Hey guys, before I start the podcast, a quick introduction. My name is Warnith and I'm the founder of Pet Excel Marketing. Pet Excel Marketing is a marketing agency that specifically works with pet businesses. Over the years, we have worked with pet food brand, pet relocation businesses, pet SaaS companies, pet clothing brand, cat food businesses, dog grooming services, and many other product and service-based pet businesses globally. Our services includes everything from creating graphics to running your ad campaign. Not only that, we have built amazing websites and apps for pet businesses. So if you have a pet business and would like us to help grow it, click on the first link in the description to book a call with our team. Now enjoy the podcast. Guys, welcome back to Pet Brand Podcast, where we explore the most exciting innovation in the pet industry, from groundbreaking training methods to powerful marketing strategies. I'm Verneth, your host, and today we have an incredible guest with us. Our guest today is a true pioneer in the world of dog training. Imagine communicating with your dog without words, using your only body language and instinct. That's the foundation of OneMind Dogs, a revolutionary training method that has transformed the way thousands of dog owners connect with their pets. Over 70,000 registered users worldwide and a growing network of 100 plus coaches in 13 countries, One Mind Dog has become a global movement. And at the heart of it is Noora, one of the key minds behind the remarkable approach to dog training. So in today's episode, we will dive into inspiring stories of how One Mind Dog began, how a deaf border collie named Tekla shaped its core philosophy, the challenges of scaling a global pet brand, and the future of dog training with technology. So, whether you're pet lovers, entrepreneur, or simply curious about the magic of non-verbal communication with dogs, you are in for a treat. So, let's jump right in. Or thank you so much for being a part of Pet Brand Podcast.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's amazing to be here.
Great, amazing. So yeah, let's get started from the beginning. One Mind Dogs has built a strong global reputation for its unique dog-centric training approach, right? But every great brand has an origin story, right? So, like, can you share the story behind One Mind Dogs and like what inspired you to start this?
Yes, absolutely. And it's amazing story. So I'm happy to share it. So One Mind Dog started because of this one special dog, Tekla. Tekla was a deaf Border Collie, so she couldn't hear. But she was one of our co-founders and actually the method creators dog, Janita Leinonen's very successful dog. And at some point, Janita noticed that Tekla couldn't hear anymore. She used to hear normally. And then at that point, Janita had to decide whether to stop training and competing with the dog or find another way to communicate with it. And that's
Mm,
when she discovered that dogs already have a natural language and it's primarily visual. So dogs react to, for example, your direction of movement and even your eyes and gaze stronger than your words. And, and dogs already understand our method. So we teach humans how to communicate in a way
mm,
that it makes sense to dogs. And that realization became the foundation of OneMind Dogs. And today we help dog owners, like you said, around the world to experience the same deep connection with their dogs and absolutely with great results. So many people say that their dogs wish they had learned this earlier,
yeah.
and that experience has changed many people's and dogs' lives for good.
Mhm. And starting a business, especially one that challenges conventional methods, comes with its own set of hurdles, right? So you build a brand that resonate with so many dog owners, but I imagine the early days weren't easy, obviously. So what were some of the biggest challenges you guys faced when you were starting One Mind Dogs?
Yeah, this is a really good question and interesting to think back because One More Dogs was launched all no, not launched, it was founded in 2012
Hmm.
and it was launched November 13 and the first full year of operation was 2014. So that was really early times for online services. You
Hmm.
know, App
Hmm.
Store, Facebook, Spotify, they weren't launched a lot before. So it was really early.
Hmm.
But probably the biggest challenge in those times was creating an online service where there was no history you could follow. So I was a lot doing like I was meeting a lot of people who I
Hmm.
knew that knew what's happening in the tech world, and also I was following companies from
Hmm.
other areas, and then learning from that. And it was kind of my I have always been looking into other areas and taking the best bits and learnings from there.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was a positive challenge for me. I really enjoyed it. I have been the
Hmm.
CEO. We were multiple co-founders, and I have
Yeah.
been the CEO since the beginning.
Hmm.
And I have been really passionate in developing these services. But if you think, like, for example, online payment options back then,
Hmm.
it was basically only PayPal. So
Yeah, yeah.
so that was one of the trickiest things. And
Hmm.
one also, like, another type of challenge is, like, that I want to mention is proving that our method, even though the training is was initially a lot about dog agility, but it's about dog's perspective
Yeah.
and proving that it works universally, not just
Hmm.
in agility, but in everyday life. And that battle is going on all the time. But online dog training as such only started blooming after the pandemic.
Yeah.
So we had
Hmm.
been pushing this forward already years before that. And yes, people were wondering how on earth you can train your dog with an online service. So that has been a big, maybe that has been actually the biggest challenge of scaling, because
Uh-huh.
we had those early customers and we had lots of them. So they knew agility and they wanted to learn that. But when we want to scale it outside from the early adopters, it has been a challenge. And but
Uh-huh.
I'm super proud what we have built and what we were able to build something like this already at that time as a pioneer.
Uh-huh.
And afterwards, when I look back, we can see that we did many things right. And we were able to build this global audience and community, the brand, the story, and real business, because we had revenue since day one we launched the
Wow.
business.
Wow. Hmm. And like, like what was your background before this? Like what background you had? Is it in tech or is it specifically in the dog training space?
Yeah, well, I have a very eventful life with a lot of experience in many different areas.
Yeah.
From my early age, I have been very independent, and from since I was a child, I have been traveling a lot, and we have
Wow.
had lots of exchange students from all around the world, and I was
Mm-hmm.
independently traveling even as a child.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been executing a lot of things, and at the age of 16, I actually moved to Helsinki, which is the capital of Finland, by
Okay.
myself to study in my high school and do my high school there at the English School of Helsinki,
Wow.
because I wanted to learn better English. And that
Mm.
was really natural for me. So that's kind of about my personality. But dog training wise, before OneMind Dogs, I had about a little bit less than 10 years of experience in
Wow.
professional dog training and running a local dog
Mm.
training school, and
Mm.
also building and creating
Mm-hmm.
services for dog owners and professional coaching programs.
Mm.
And I worked really closely with top trainers and committed myself in high level in agility and continuously wanted to study dog behavior. But what really shaped me has been maybe my passion for making dog training accessible and fun. So I wanted to take high quality dog training available for everyone,
Mm.
and this is how we can change the world for, like, to be a better place for dogs. So we wanted to
Definitely.
teach dog owners so that the dogs could have better life. And that passion has led me to co-found and innovate OneMind Dogs to
Mm.
be to do makes it, like, at that time it was really different to anything else that was done on this
Definitely.
space.
Yeah. Mm.
And in short, my story is that I have taken dog training from local to global and
Global. Yeah.
online. So yeah,
Exactly.
so
Mm.
and I'm also active, like, board member in other companies, and that's also have been building my skills for board professionalism. So I
Okay.
have quite a lot of experience
Mm.
in businesses, and but I have been devoted and dedicated for OneMind Dog since it was founded. So
Mm.
so that's my kind of core focus.
Mm-hmm. And the other companies that you're talking about that you were as a board member, are they like pet specific or like any other industry?
Oh, a lot of other industries
Okay.
like
Okay. Okay.
retail, manufacturing, and,
Mm-hmm.
for example, bread, and like a lot of, like, different things.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
during the whole pandemic time, we moved to US, and then I got rid of
Mm.
all the other company board memberships that I didn't have an ownership in. And now I have been getting back to that, and I'm
Wow.
actually a chairman in one board, which is really motivating, and I enjoy being and supporting
Mm.
also the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amazing, amazing. Talking
Mhm.
more about the one mind dog method, dog training is obviously like an evolving field with various school of thoughts, like what's the best approach, what's not, right? So while traditional method focus heavily on verbal commands, one mind dogs take definitely a different route, right? So what do you think, like what makes one mind dog training method different from the traditional training methods that are available in the market?
Yeah, that's really good question. And there is indeed a lot of battle in how to train your dog. So I think
Mm-hmm.
we want to stay above of that discussion and kind of help people to create a great relationship with their dogs, because that will
Mm-hmm.
make a difference really quickly. But yeah, as you said, most training methods focus on making dogs understand us, but we do the opposite. So we teach people to understand dogs. And yes, we do use verbal commands as well, but the whole foundation base of the training is not that. So dogs are incredibly smart and already communicate in the way that
Yeah.
makes sense to them. So
Yeah.
once you learn that, everything just makes sense, and it just clicks.
Mm-hmm.
And at that moment when you start learning to get that connection, and you feel like you're speaking dog when you
Yeah.
understand how
Yeah.
to behave in a way,
Mm-hmm.
um, that bond is just built on trust, and it just changed everything. And I think the best part of it is that it works for all dogs, whether it's puppies, rescue dogs, family pets, agility champions. So it's for everyone, because we don't need to teach this to dogs because they already know it.
Yeah.
It's just about helping people to learn different ways of communicating, and it creates kind of effortless and trust-based relationship with
Mm-hmm.
dogs. And yeah, so I think that's the biggest differentiator. We make high quality dog training really easy and fun, and we want
Yeah.
it to be part of everyday life.
Mm-hmm. And do you know anyone in the industry right now, in the dog training industry, who are doing like what exactly you are doing, bubble cues and everything?
Well, of course, because we are basically positive reinforcement, like pay based method. So of course there are a lot of smart trainers and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
dog training methods. What differentiates us is that we have really deep dived into the how to actually get people to understand it, and we that's
Yeah.
about also the coach training programs that we are
Mm-hmm.
running, or we have been running. So we really clearly like deep dive into the little details.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, we don't want it to make sound too complex, because one of the main pain points in general when we meet new dog owners and they have some background in dog training, they feel that they have failed. They don't
Mm.
have the self-esteem, and then when they come to us, they oh my God, they find a new positive
Yeah.
personality of themselves, because we kind
Wow.
of coach the people
Mm.
um, to get to their next level. So it's a lot about teaching people and communicating with people instead of just punishing the dogs or making
Yeah.
the dogs
Yeah.
work. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
Got it. And also, like, just like everybody says, seeing is believing, right? A success story often inspire pet owners to try new approaches. And since you guys have worked with thousands of dog owners worldwide, so can you share? I'm sure you must have a lot of success stories, but can you share a specific success story of a pet owners who experienced a transformation through your training?
We have so many stories,
Yeah.
and we get these feedbacks like on daily basis. That's why we are also passionate about running
Mm,
OneMind Dogs and scaling it,
mm,
because the value that it creates, it just changed lives and it makes everything so positive. I would even say that this could be used for people that are suffering from some mental instability or depression or something. So I believe that OneMind Dogs method would be also a tool for that. But anyway, from our like stories, that really, like, one example is for example a woman who was struggling with mobility issues. So
wow. Mm, mm,
she was not able to move as flexibly or fast. And then she also felt isolated living outside the rural area. So
Yeah.
when she discovered OneMind Dog, she learned to communicate with her dog, and in that way,
Wow.
didn't require any physical threat, like or verbal commands. So then she learned how to um, kind of get the connection with the
Mm-hmm.
dog and actually succeed with the dog. So
Wow.
and that gave her confidence and
Mm.
purpose again. And then she told us that without her dog and OneMind Dog, she thinks that she would have ended up in nursing home. So these kind of
Wow.
stories
Wow.
remind
Mm.
us that it's a lot about so much more than just training. It's about life-changing relationship. Well,
Definitely.
and also another example, one student had big goals to take her rare like breed to the world stage in
Okay. Mm.
agility. And then
Mm.
through One
Mm.
My Dog, she learned that how to build handling skills, how to understand her dog's perspective
Yeah. Yeah.
and refine her timing in handling. And with that help, she actually secured her world team spot for her country.
Wow.
So
Mm.
well, so we have a lot of them, and they are not just about competitions. So we have a lot of these examples where people have found kind of the meaning and purpose for their everyday life, whether it doesn't matter the age, but also like elderly people, they have found a totally new way of life, and they regret they didn't find One My Dogs and Dog Agility earlier
Wow.
in their lives.
Mm. Mm.
And so it's about building progress, building confidence, and finding the joy. And I have
Mm.
actually interviewed many of our long-term users and customers, and I've
Okay.
done 2 seasons of podcasts. So I
Yeah.
recommend listening to those
Mm.
episodes because
Mm-hmm.
the stories are just heartwarming and amazing, and they're around the world. So from South Africa, US,
Wow.
Australia,
Mm.
everywhere. So
Crazy.
it's
Crazy.
incredible.
Amazing. And your approach isn't just for the first time dog owners, right? It's also agility, competitive, just you're talking about at various levels. So how do you like balance training for both beginners and seasoned handlers?
Um, well, we offer training for all levels, from puppies and family
Okay.
pets to
Mm-hmm.
competitive
Mm.
agility. Um, the puppy training program was designed in a way that anyone can actually succeed in those little details that matter the most. And when they just have the consistent daily routines
Yeah.
they follow the program.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started with the enthusiast for agility. So nowadays we have the puppy training, which is not about agility at all. So it's for anyone, and it's actually maybe the word puppy is a little bit misleading because it's also great for older dogs and
Yeah.
a dog, whatever dog that you want to kind
Mm-hmm.
of restart everything. So it's
Mm.
really perfect for that. And at the moment, if you want to get better relationship, we recommend the foundation of agility, which is lower priced, um, great start for OneMind Dogs method. And
Yeah.
it's even though it's a foundation for agility, it doesn't have any obstacles requirements or
Mm-hmm.
anything. So you can do them in your living room, on your walks,
Wow.
and those exercises actually help you build the connection and trust, and then you become more kind of like appealing and interesting and exciting for the dog, for example,
Yeah.
during the
Yeah.
walks. So they
Yeah.
don't necessarily look for other dogs,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they want to play with you. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that's how we do it.
Amazing. Talking more about the business growth and the global impact, One Mind Dog has grown into a worldwide movement with tens of thousands of registered users, right? And scaling a pet brand globally is definitely not a small feat. So how did you guys scale to this amazing level?
Hmm. Yeah, we started um, with creating the brand story and
Yeah.
we and
Mm-hmm.
the brand identity and all the details about that. And then we did a pre-launch, which was at that time not that common. It was only for tech companies to make
Yeah.
a so
Mm.
that you launch that something is coming in 6 months or something like that, and then you start building the social media channels and everything. That's
Mm-hmm.
like no brainer now, but at that time it was
Yeah.
not
It
that
was
typical.
new. Yeah.
So we were able to build this network effect basically
Mm.
on that. And then it's a lot about word of mouth. It's when we have local dog training events,
Mm-hmm.
they have always been like they are they are like super passionate, packed with positivity
Yeah.
and excitement. And so that those emotions are something that people should experience more and more. And then always when people join those, they get really excited. However, pandemic time had made us to stop those events, and now we are slowly getting back. But so it has been all the time combining online and offline events. And but anyway, I believe that fully online, yes, it's doable to
Mm.
scale a lot. But if you want to really touch the soul
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
create these experiences, you have to find a creative way to combine the offline and like physical touch
Mm.
points and online.
Definitely. And also expanding internationally, like this often comes with challenges in maintaining, let's say, consistency, quality, right? So since you work with 100 plus coaches in 13 different countries, so how do you ensure that your training philosophy remains intact? Basically, the quality control.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, OneMind Dogs, the business itself, like we are a team, like a small team,
Hmm. Hmm.
like for the operative work. So we are in Finland, in Australia, and the US, and that's
Wow.
our like core team that is running the business. Then we have the coach network, and um, we have really strict certification process. So people have to
Okay.
pass
Hmm.
successfully different modules.
Hmm.
So, and quality has initially and from the beginning been the top priority. So that's why we have carefully designed those elements that we can trust the quality. And
Hmm.
every One Mind Dogs coach goes through in-depth training and follows our method. And when we talk about these 100 plus coaches, there are people with different levels of modules. So some of them
Okay.
have
Hmm.
just done something, and then others have
Hmm.
passed until the end. And but it's for sure it's super international, and
Hmm.
all of them who are running and training with One Mind X method, they are all super passionate about the dog's perspective
Hmm.
and about helping people with their dogs.
Yeah. Amazing. And beyond training, your brand is has a bigger mission to strengthen the bond between dogs and their owners, right? So
Yeah.
which ultimately reducing the number of dogs that end up in shelter. So like how does one mind dog contribute to responsible dog ownership and reducing rehoming rates?
Well, yes, the responsible dog ownership is one of the top things that we are looking for. So the
Hmm.
major reason dogs are rehomed or abandoned is behavioral topics or
Definitely. Yeah.
issues.
Hmm.
So we that's why we want to reach as many dog owners as possible so we could impact that number.
Yeah.
However, um, it's dependent on people that do not understand their dogs, and that makes them frustrated. And it's natural, of course, because even if you have one behavioral issue in with your dog, it can destroy the happiness. We all dream
Yeah.
about the happy life and dog, but even one challenge might
Yeah.
ruin that.
Yeah. Exactly. Hmm.
So our method kind of helps owners
Hmm.
to view it a little bit different way, and also it would be best if they start with our method from the beginning, but it's
Yeah. Yeah.
also a tool for changing the habits a lot.
Hmm.
So yeah, so we provide education on positive reinforcement and trust building, which prevents many behavioral issues in the first place.
Hmm.
So I think that goal is one of the most important things if we
Hmm.
think about bigger mission and also
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
responsible dog ownership.
Hmm. And I guess a lot of people, first time pet parents, they are not aware of these issues. Like they are not aware that this is what we are going to face in the future, right?
Yes, so it starts with the dream, then we
Yeah.
get the puppy, and then we think in our head that it will be the perfect like
Yeah,
this,
perfect
and
life. Yeah.
it takes like
Something they
one
have seen
year.
in an
Yeah,
advertisement. Okay.
yes,
In probably in a movie or something.
yes. So there is like about 12 months of like time period that you
Yeah.
really need to focus on what you are doing, how you are reacting, and
Yeah.
how what skills you want to provide. For
Hmm.
example, if people think that they want their dogs, for example, not to bark other dogs when they're on walks, so
Hmm.
they should start practicing that the day one when the dog is arrived at home. So with the and it starts with having teaching the dog to keep eye contact, teaching the dog to trust you, and like it starts. So like you have to the skill as it is like
Hmm.
going
Hmm.
past other dogs. There are so many little details that you have to train separately first if you want that big task to be successful. So, so yeah,
Definitely.
there is a lot to do with this topic, and I hope. But I can see a lot of positive happening because after pandemic, there has been more and more dog training apps and
Definitely.
businesses.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's
The
only
entire industry is
positive.
booming. Yeah.
Yes,
Hmm.
exactly.
Hmm. Talking more about let's talk more about the marketing and the consumer education side of things. Spreading awareness in a crowded market requires strategy marketing, right? Your brand has successfully captured the attention of dog owners worldwide. So what do you think, like, what marketing strategies has been the most effective in raising awareness about One Mind Dogs?
Yes, like you mentioned. So the stories and the word of mouth
Yeah.
is definitely the biggest. And sharing those is really powerful. And each of these moments when people can feel this great connection with their dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like marketing wise, we share a lot of information. We are all about sharing everything we know,
Mm-hmm.
and we want people just to get the inspiration for getting
Mm.
their next level. We offer free webinars, ebooks,
Wow. Mm.
tips, and everything. So
Basically,
it's
a
all
lot of
about,
content marketing.
yes, a lot of content marketing.
Mm.
And when
Mm.
if we think about digital channels,
Yeah.
um, absolutely social media and
Yeah.
search SEO are really
Mm.
crucial for organic growth, and also paid
Definitely.
ads,
Yeah.
which we are not using a lot, but they help reach new audiences, and also partnerships with
Okay.
clubs, organizations, and local influencers is great.
Wow.
And it's great tool for expanding the reach.
Definitely. And like, even the most
I,
successful brands face
yeah.
like ongoing marketing challenges. So what do you think, like, currently, like, what is your biggest marketing challenge right now that you're looking to solve?
Well, find. I was just about to tell that like our most recent partnership is with Finnish Kennel Club, so they are
Wow.
now
Mm.
offering as a
Uh,
member benefit our training programs. So
wow.
getting more of those, I think, would be really great, and also finding the balance with educating people
Mm.
and encourage them to commit.
Mm.
Because I we want them to experience our method first and then build the trust. However, there is um, like a lot to like kind of educational gap. So many
Yeah,
dog owners are unfamiliar
definitely.
with 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 different training methods, and
Hmm.
maybe the most important thing is people don't realize that the dog's perspective is totally different to human perspective.
Yeah.
So when people start training their dogs, they do it from human perspective, and it's not that successful as when you
Hmm.
think about the dog's perspective.
Hmm. So do you still think like you need to educate the first time pet parents a lot about your training methods, or is it like the market is little bit, educated in this space? Or is it like you need to?
Absolutely.
Mm,
Absolutely. Yeah.
mm.
We and everybody else, we need to educate the people a lot.
Yeah,
That's for
yeah.
sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm. But when I think of like back when I started with the local dog training school early 2000,
Hmm.
we did everything that we were able to get these people to with puppies to these local dog training
Mm.
schools. And soon all the courses, all the classes, groups were full, full, full. It was time before social media, so it was all about word of mouth. So they were
Yeah.
always full. And now, if you think about it, currently, I think it's pretty normal that you go to puppy training school. But at that time, 20 years back, it wasn't like in big way like the normal. So now it's just about teaching people that it's not only about the puppy training. It's all
Hmm.
like it's the whole lifetime of the dog that you should be aware of how to communicate, how to activate, how to have fun together along the way, because that's what keeps the relationship and trust and bond and connection like going on.
Definitely. And just like entrepreneurship is a continuous learning experience. So like if you could go back to those early days of One Mind Dog with everything you know right now, so like is there anything that you would have done differently now so that to get better at better position?
Yeah, well, there must be a lot of things, but
Yeah.
we have maybe to mention I would invest earlier more in social media content creation.
Mm.
That's something we should have just started earlier. I know that's a like clear kind of regret.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, you would have a huge leverage of content from like 2014, so that would have
Yes.
definitely impacted.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But the time was so early. So if you
Definitely,
think
yeah.
about like having all the team members having the shared vision of
Yeah.
the marketing strategies, for example, that's not
Mm.
easy when it's not so well known like
Yeah.
how things should be done. Or so it's always like, but I don't want to look back and think that we should
Yeah,
have
yeah.
done something
Hmm.
differently, because I think we have done a lot of great things. And now it's just looking forward and think
Yeah.
of like what to do next.
Definitely. Talking more about the technology and innovation in the dog training. Technology has transformed nearly every industry, and dog training is definitely not no exception. AI and data analytics are opening new possibilities for personalized training experience. So, what do you think? Like, what role of do AI and data analytics play in customizing training for individual dogs?
Mhm. We do quite a lot of automatized stuff, and our softwares that we are using already are using AI to make
Wow.
it more efficient. So that's just happening when like I think for everyone.
Mm.
However, AI, we are exploring different things, how we can even be more personalized with the learning path,
Mm.
and how we can scale our expertise. So yes, indeed, we are exploring different options, and in short, like data helps us really refine our training and understand like what works best and different types of dogs and owners, and also if we think about marketing and sales and the
Yeah.
customer care process. So we do a lot of experimenting and data analysis related.
Love it. And last question for my end, Nora. How do you see online training, online dog training, your platform specifically evolving in the, let's say, in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, in my point of view, I we are working hard to change how people think about dog training, like
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier. So it's not just about an hour a week at the
Hmm.
training
Hmm.
session.
Hmm.
It's about every moment we are with our dogs, like how
Hmm.
you take the moments.
Hmm.
So we work hard to get people better connected with their dogs and creating better relationships. So I think that will be a big thing for the future as well. Um,
Hmm.
and also it has great results not only for having well-behaving dog,
Hmm.
but having a happy and mentally balanced everyday life. So it's not only about dog training, it's about your life, your
Yeah.
happiness,
Yeah.
your family's happiness and mental
Hmm.
states.
Definitely.
But also like if we think about tech wise, I
Hmm.
would say more interactivity, more AI driven customization,
Yeah.
virtual reality coaching, like or that sort of things. I think it's going that direction. But
Hmm.
I still strongly want to keep the physical connection with people there. So AI is not going to take that. And I don't believe that AI is going to tell you what your dog is thinking, to be honest. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I think it's matter of like humanity, and we have to learn to how to communicate and create great relationship with dogs.
Yeah. And on a side note, like, what do you think? looking at the entire pet industry, what do you think, like where the pet industry is growing, like in the next 5 to 10 years? What do you think, like what kind of impact this industry is going to have in economy?
Well, currently the biggest areas are food and
Mm, mm,
veterinarian services. So I'm assuming they are developing a lot, and also when we think about like the world situation, so food indeed requires kind of a lot of research and investigation and innovation.
mm.
But I see that services like dog training are
Yeah,
growing
yeah.
as numbers are already showing. So that's
Mm,
really great because it's rare that we understand how much the relationship with dog actually impacts the lives of human beings. So that's why it's really important. So I would say that more and more companies from
mm.
other areas also realize how important it is to serve dog owners in a way that you actually create
Yeah.
relationship with the dog owners.
Mm, mm.
And that's what we are doing. So we are collaborating currently with remote vet clinic and
Wow.
kennel clubs and all those. So there are a lot of opportunity, but it's not, and it's just in the future. I see the big blooming, so
Yeah.
it will be interesting to see how it evolves. But I would say the future is combining humanity and AI and creating great experiences for people and dogs.
Love it. That was an insightful conversation, Nora. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, the incredible story behind One Mind Dogs, and all the value lesson for pet brand founders, dog owners alike.
Thank you so much. It was really great to be in the podcast.
Amazing. And to all our listeners, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. If you found this conversation helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Pet Brand Podcast. And if you want to learn more about One Mind Dogs and how the unique training methods can transform your relationship with your dog, be sure to check out their website, follow them on social media. I will leave all the links in the description below. And thank you again, Nora, for being here today. And it was a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
Amazing.